All right, so first time we're touching 70s. It's the next day. I got too hot. I went ahead and pulled my map sensor out and had replaced it with my brother's car, like I said. And after that, we got a reading. We took it out. My camera unfortunately died. I was pushing the limits after removing everything. But no more check engine light, no more reduced power. So we have a replacement one that just came in. We're gonna get that put in, and then we're gonna get to cleaning out the interior and making this thing a little bit suitable. Unfortunately, I neglected to order these rain guards, the drain trays, so I do not have any at the moment, but I can put everything back together, I think, since those go on top of everything. I do have some on order now, but hopefully once we get this all sorted, cleaned up, those will come in, and then we can give this thing a proper test drive and see how she does. Okay, so we've got everything back together. I need to get those two covers on right there, but this should work for now. This is only gonna be temporary. Like I said, we've got new cowling coming, and we will need to get a new bolt for that beauty cover, because I did end up ripping it off because the bolt, well, I should say what was left of it was definitely not gonna come out with a wrench. So we'll get that acoustic panel on after, and the beauty cover and everything, and go from there. I need to grab that intake tube, and then everything should be buttoned up well enough to drive. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on not this stuff, since this should all work, and we're gonna get to cleaning the inside. Now, I'm not gonna lie, out of all the things I do car related, detailing is, I think, my least favorite part. I like the after results, but I hate the whole process up to it. For some reason, there was just a bunch of melted candy and like a million toothpicks in the glove box, so I don't really know what they were doing beforehand, but everything did end up cleaning up pretty nice, so that was a positive. For the most part, everything's all cleaned up. Just need to see if I can get the steering wheel cover off, but it is on there and kind of gross. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's lovely. This looks like it had been on there for a while, but the steering wheel looks pretty good and is not sticky. So we'll take that one other win, and we'll finish this up, and then hopefully get to go for a drive once it's all together. Fortunately, the outside's gonna take a minute before we get to clean it without those guards, but we'll see how it is in a second.
24 hours later.
So we're looking a little different. Seems to be working great. We're going on a first maiden voyage that's somewhere besides around the block. And I figured what better way to do it than drive an hour to an interview in a completely untested car. So come along for the ride. We'll see how she does. And if we break down, I will be pulling you back out. All right, guys. So just an update. We've put about 60 some odd miles on it now. And overall, everything has been great. No weird noises. Now, you may be asking yourself, Austin, why did you cut yourself off while you were in the middle of talking? One is because I started rambling. There was a bunch of nonsense I just started spouting, and it may have come from sitting in the weirdest interview I've ever been in. And two, it was hot, and I was pretty tired because I didn't plan ahead for the interview and wasn't very well prepped for it. No, I did not end up getting that job. Thank you for asking. But I did end up getting a job shortly after, a different position, which is good. But these next little bit of clips are all kind of what I like to call side quests. We went from focusing 100% on my X5, and then my brother's car had some stuff come in, and we went ahead and got all of his stuff done. And then it was just a bunch of little things I wanted to get done with my X5 while I waited for more parts to come in. And once again, I have more stuff coming in. So there will be more stuff coming for the X5 and more content on that. And then we're going to be probably transitioning into a couple other BMWs that I have. So enjoy these small bits and pieces. And we've got some very interesting stuff that happens after.
DJI on. DJI on. That's what he sounded like.
Yo Google, turn on camera 4.
ChatGPT, fucking record this.
I think you're good.
ChatGPT, fucking my balls hurt.
What?
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
All right, so it's actually been a few days. The X5 did great on its first venture out. There's a bit of noise with it. I think I need to get all the fluids changed in the diffs, so I've got that stuff ordered, and once it comes in, we're gonna get that all taken care of. But we have a side quest right now. So, this is my brother's car. He also has a 2012 X5 diesel. His is pretty basic, but he was running into some codes, so we obviously repaired the EGR, so that is all fixed up. But one problem we ran into is he did not want to spend a ton of money, so we got some high flow cats for his DPF replacement. This was straight from China, and it looks pretty good. The only problem is it doesn't fit very well. I think it's about an inch too tall or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a section about right here, I think an inch, put the upper part in, and then we'll see if we can get this to line up. And then we'll cut this off, well, a little bit of an extension to replace the, the def injector. So we're gonna get to that and see what happens. So I didn't bring my tripod, which I'm kind of regretting. So we're gonna try placing you around while I do this. But to start, to make sure we get a straight line when we cut this, we're going to take a hose clamp, put it around it, tighten it around, so we have an idea, like a reference point of where I need to cut. We'll see if we can get it on the chop saw. If it doesn't fit, then we will move over to the angle grinder and we'll test our precision skills. So I'm gonna get this off, get it all set up, and then we'll go from there. So we've got the hose clamp almost on. What we're gonna do though is we're gonna give this a nice score. In a couple spots. To make sure we can line this back up once we do this. So we'll get 3 on there. Now we can prep this for cutting. Dropped my camera while I was tacking this and getting everything all fitted, but it was just a lot of cutting, going back and forth. I look gross, but we got it in pretty well, I think. This bracket clearly is nowhere near where it's supposed to go. We've got about 1/4 of an inch here, almost a full inch of space at the bottom of this, and then clearly plenty of room everywhere up there, which is a lot smaller than what was in here before. This right here, though, I may need to kick it up just a hair, and I've got to cut off this reducer section and get some 3-inch, and then go straight back to here. And I've got a 2-bolt flange to go in there. And then we should be able to get this thing started a little bit sooner. We also discovered a pretty bad oil leak. The pan is cracked. So I've got a helicoil set as well because the threads are stripped out, which I guess is just a common problem on this era of BMWs. So we're going to try making it not the stereotype and removing the oil leaks. So I'm going to get back to this and I will update you guys as soon as it's in. Alrighty, so we're actually a few days later. We're waiting for some more parts to come in for the X5. We're going to do a service on the diffs and the transfer case since I do have that oil light. And then we're going to go around and see how it's fully doing. We've got a pretty long commute for the foreseeable future. So we're going to see how she does. But right now, we're going to see if we can get the grill in. I'm not really wearing shop clothes, but this should be pretty clean work I have to do today. We're going to get the grill in. I went ahead and JB welded that. So hopefully it'll stay together. It's not going to be perfect since I did end up breaking it when I pulled it off to get the hood open. Now the hood opens every time, which is great. But that just needs to be in and functional. We're going to tighten up the wheels, and then we're going to go see if this thing can do a little bit more heavy-duty errands that my F31 couldn't do. As well as go put some money in the bank because that just sold last week actually. So let's get to it. All right, we are in luck. Seems to have done its job. Both are held in. They're obviously not in the best of shape, but we'll clean them up later. I'm just happy that it looks like a car again. And now off to do errands and see how she does for the trip. So, we've taken it out, we've got it running. Now it's time to address the small things going on with this. So, number one, I realized this headlight is turning on, but I'm not getting an error for it. And I think the bulb fell out of the socket. Because you can still see it lighting up, especially when you turn the brights on or turn it off. So, I'm hoping just the tab's bad. Next, we need to get this whole cowl stuff reset so we can finally wash this thing. And then third, real common problem with this generation of BMWs, this passenger handle is absolutely disgusting and you do not want to touch it. So we're going to pop that off. We got all that stuff in. And unfortunately, we are waiting on fluids to do the diffs and transfer case. We're gonna get started on this, and the grill fix, fortunately, has held up and has not fallen out, so that's been great. It's been nice having it look like a car, and once I get this done, I can finally wash it and make it look not like it came out of an auction yard. Since I took this off 100 times, we're just gonna do a quick little... Okay, this is looking much better. You know, you can't see this. I bought these pieces off of eBay because they were cheap and I figured it wouldn't be that important. So I've just got some double-sided waterproof tape there because it doesn't fit very well. It is what it is. I don't know where I got this from, but this is like the best tool I think I own. Basically, it's just a 1/4-inch drive screwdriver with a receptacle to use the ratchet that comes with it. And I've got a bunch of torch bits. So it was legitimately perfect for this job. Because I did not have to go back and forth. It has 13, 10, and the T25 engine. So that was awesome. We were able to get the stickers over too. That one I messed up really bad with, but this one looks okay. And now we're gonna check the headlight out. Okay, headlight on. Now, if we come out here, we can see I know this is probably not going to focus that well, but this one is clearly on. We can see that. I don't think the center ones do anything, actually. And then this one, it looks slightly illuminated. Like, it's not fully off like that one. So I think the bulb is on. I just don't think it's in the receptacle. And plus, I do not have a headlight error. So let's get the lights back on. I'm going to pop that out real quick and see if maybe the bulb has just fallen out. I've never seen anything like that before, but doesn't mean it's not possible. So if we look slightly in there, this is just a single pop tab. It's pretty easy to get off, especially if you go through this back hole. But if we shine the light, the bulb is definitely just out. I don't know how that happens, but I'm gonna try popping it back in, and then we'll see if, oh yeah, it's just fully out. Oh, that's good. I think it was in upside down. Okay. See if I can squeeze you back in there. Yeah. Okay, fully back in. Let's get the cap back on. We'll get the lights off. Check to make sure it's working. Oh, there we go. Okay, back in. That's looking a little bit better. It's looking. Yeah, there we go. 1 and 2. Lights are good. Make sure high beams work. All right, so headlight issue resolved. Rain cowl solved, so we can wash this thing. Door handles next. I think this is just popping this leather off, and then I am hoping I should be able to access the screws to hold this in. Like most things, I just get whatever's cheapest. 90% of the parts come from the same place now, so if you can wait, eBay's a great place to buy because it's cheaper and it gets here slower. If you need something more urgent or something's bothering you, Amazon, it's the same stuff, just gets here with 2-day shipping. I am dying. There's sweat pouring out of these gloves, so I'm gonna get this knocked out so I can get this thing washed. Hoping. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, a big part of it was all of this is melted down underneath this. So this is going to get a good scrubbing. This is going on the ground. What do we got here? Those look like T10s. Just right. Yeah, this is just so nasty. I see metaphorical. I don't think this is original. So, it's garbage. Okay. All right, all free sticky handle. So I think that's it for like the small stuff we can do today. I've got to wait until tomorrow when the diff oils get in to do both the diffs and the transfer case. I do think though, out of all the tools I use in the shop, razor blades are probably the #1 thing I use the most because they're so helpful, especially if you're doing stuff like this. A nice fresh razor blade helps make quick work of stuff like this. So I'm gonna get all this paint off, give it a quick little rinse, clean up all the spiders and stuff off of it, and then we'll see how she looks. And one more thing I forgot to mention, we have this error with the reverse lights, and it's saying that they're not turning on. I've confirmed they work. I had my brother stand behind the car, put it in reverse, use ISTA to just power it on, and the reverse lights work. I think it has something to do with the LEDs, but when I tried using Bimmer code for it, it's saying I cannot code the FRM module, which in most cases would mean it's failing from what I've researched, but I still have working doors, working windows, working interior lights, working exterior lights, so I don't think the module is bad.
Approximately 10 hours later.
All right, so I don't know how well you're gonna be able to hear me. Normally I roll the windows up, but my FRM just ended up failing. So currently I have no dash lights. I've got a illumination error, and I can't roll up my windows. Don't have turn signals, so I get to live the stereotype of all BMW owners. However, there is one positive. BMW in March extended the recall to 15 years and 186,000 miles. My car's 2012, so we're clear in the 15 years, and we have 182,000 miles. So we're just barely scraping by with hitting that warranty range, which I think is really lucky, because normally I feel like these things get extended and I'd be at 186.5, and they'd be like, well, sorry, Chief, you're out. So yeah, we're going to my local BMW dealer. It unfortunately is about an hour away, and I'm just hoping it doesn't rain, because yeah, can't really do anything about that. So I'll update you guys either when I get the car back or possibly sooner. But I do want to thank everybody. The last video is doing pretty well, and this is just here to remind you in the middle of the side quest madness. If you like this content, make sure you give it a like. If you want to stick around and see what happens with this car and what happens after it becomes roadworthy, subscribe, and yeah, we'll keep you updated. All right, record timing on this. Shout out Champ BMW for having one of the modules on hand, because now I've got working windows and turn signals again. So honestly, turnaround on that, not too bad. It's like 6 o'clock. I think I got it here at 10:30. So really not too bad. And then that means tomorrow I can get the diffs and stuff knocked out, and we can hopefully finish up a lot of the side quests we have left with this guy. First off, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. If you guys like this kind of stuff, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think, as well as, if you have any tips or anything like that for it, feel free to leave them down below. Second, thank you all so much for the support on the last video. We're going to keep going through and making more content on this until we get it to where I want to be and it fulfills all of its future duties. The next stuff I have in the works for it is going to involve the wonderful quote we got from BMW, as it's my favorite thing every time I have to go to the dealer for a recall, to see what services they recommend and how much it's going to cost. And since I predominantly have owned BMWs, the shop quotes are always a fun treat. So we're going to go over that and get some of the stuff done next time. So thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one, where it'll probably be a little bit more scattered as we're kind of winding down and waiting for more parts for this thing.